All right, are you thinking about moving to Fort Walton Beach, but you want to know what really the cost of living is for here? Well, I got you. As a local, we'll be getting to the honest truth with updated data for Fort Walton Beach cost of living. So let's go. Well, you could probably cut the video off now. I'm gonna say it's totally worth it. Where do I sign up? Let's go ahead and go down some of the lists that I talked about. So some of the general facts, right? So the cost of living index here is about 93. So that's gonna be on that scale from where 100 is just the average across the board for the continental United States. We sit at 93, so that's 7% lower than the actual national average, which is pretty awesome, right? So it's gonna be lower than Destin, it's lower than Navarre, it's even lower than Santa Rosa Beach, which you would probably expect since that's super luxury, right? Here you're gonna find that there's a lot of strong value for military families, retirees, and first-time homebuyers because there are some really good affordable places here. And this is Fort Walton, right? So imagine being 5 to 10 minutes away from this and having a pretty nice house at a pretty decent price. Now there are some nuances, I'm gonna tell you here in the other video, where it does get a little expensive. Can you guess what? We'll find out here in a moment. All right, let's talk about the next set is utilities as we are down here at the landing in downtown Fort Walton Beach. And again, one of these cool places to go check out while you are living here. This is golf cart accessible if you are on the east side. If you're on the east side of Eglin and below where the second bridge is up there, you'll be able to access a golf cart to this area. There's actually golf cart parking out here as well. There's concerts in the summertime and sometimes beyond the summertime going in here. There's plenty of food, places to go to, delicious places to get some delicious libations. Like we got Woodfoot that's over here as well for some craft beer and some artisan pizza, things like that. So anyway, let's talk about utilities. That's usually your electric, your water, your internet. What are these costs looking like? So in certain parts of Fort Walton Beach, you do have fiber optic that you can go to or your regular cable. Your electric is pretty much, you're stuck with it unless you're doing solar. And for your water, more than likely you either be with the city water or the county water, depending upon where you are at in Fort Walton Beach. So from those different ones, for like a 3-bedroom house, depending upon if it's got shade and whatnot, you'd be looking somewhere around $200 to upwards of $400 a month, depending on where you're at and really just the insulation of the house and how much beat up you're gonna get from the sun. Now, if you're gonna be sitting there on the water, more than likely, it's gonna be a lot more than that if you're sitting in a 3,000-foot home. So you kind of get the idea. Homeowners insurance, we've seen it getting as low for single family homes as about $1,800. If you're in a condo, you could be looking at $1,200 or less, depending upon which condo it's in, because it's just, you know, condo insurance, but basically renter's insurance. But realistically, when we estimate, we're estimating closer to $2,500 for those per year. Now, flood insurance, do you need it here because you're this close to the water? No, not necessarily, okay? Not all places here in Fort Walton are in a flood zone. Even the place I'm standing right now in downtown, it's not in a flood zone, right? So it will really be optional. The government will give you the government rate for those most of the time if you're in a zone that's not VE. Now, if you need specifics on AE, VE, X zones, you can Google it, or you can just give me a call and I'll talk to you about it and everything else that you need to move here. But if you are looking at flood insurance, it could be as low as $400 a year, upwards to $1,200 or more. Again, it's gonna depend upon what it is where your house is, what sort of zones that it's going to be in. And really, if you want to see a little bit more what the map looks like in different flood zones that you might be in, definitely check out our map tour video for Fort Walton Beach. I almost freaking fell over there. Definitely check out our map video on our channel. It is something that we just dropped this year. It's got a ton of great information about this area and more, and different costs for everything else. All right, and I'm just gonna flip this camera around since we're in downtown. And this is the back side. I would go to the front side off of 98, but they haven't finished that bridge yet. So with that being said, it's noisy. It's noisy, but it's over there, okay? So on the backside here, I believe this is Brook Street. This is where you're going to see a lot of foot traffic, especially on the weekends, in the evenings, things like that. It's Friday, so probably be some good foot traffic today. But definitely come down here to check it out. It's worth the cost. Oh, groceries. Yeah. So where we are right now is we're actually out in front of the most prominent grocery stores here. We have Publix, and there's another one out here. Aldi's is being pretty popular in Fort Walton Beach. We used to have Winn-Dixie's around here as well, but this is where you're gonna find most of your best produce, as well as some of the better fresh foods and things like that. Normally places that you wouldn't normally be able to get some of these. Now, right next to it is Beach Liquors, which is, well, a liquor store, so some good choices here. But talking more or less about what it's like for Publix and what that's gonna look like as far as your budget, it is a little bit more, it's a little bit more expensive than what you're normally going to find in the other grocery stores around here. However, all in all, when you look at groceries, it's about 95% on that, or 95 on that scale, which is 5% below the national average. So still cheaper generally. And you get to really nice people. They want to jump in on your video sometimes. But you can be looking at certain parts when you're looking to go out to do your grocery shopping, how much that's actually going to cost. So most of the single family costs that you're going to be seeing here is probably closer to $300 to $500 a month, depending upon how healthy the food is that you're going to be purchasing, as well as a family of four. Depends on, again, how much you guys like to eat and what the what your choices of foods are. But you can go anywhere between $950 to $1,150 per month. Now, obviously, if you're going to shop at a place like Walmart or something like that, you may find better choices, or at least cheaper choices going in there for those same products. So again, the Publix, Walmart, Winn-Dixie, Aldi's, all these different things here are going to make a big difference. Again, if you want to see some other cost of living videos, more affordable places, go ahead and check out the videos here. There's plenty on this channel, more and more for different cities for you to check out. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and walk around and see what this is all about. All right, again, down here in downtown Fort Walton, back where the old KC Sandbar is. I think they're putting something new in there. But what we're gonna be talking about is more lifestyle cost. Like, what's it really cost to be out here? So there are great restaurants down here downtown. There's all throughout Fort Walton Beach. Now, there's some great stuff that you can go out to in Destin and Navarre, but really here, you don't have to travel that far to get some pretty decent food out here. One of the ones over here is Mongolia Grill. Very unique here to Fort Walton Beach. It is on Brook Street. We are on Brook Street. So it's really unique in there. It looks like an old style country home in there, and really good food out there. I've always had a good one. Further down, there's a couple more that have some sort of artisanal shops. And my buddy said he had the best espresso martini ever when he went in there. So if you're curious of what the name is at, leave that in the comments below and I'll get it back to you. Okay, but for lifestyle, the dining out, you're gonna be fine that it's gonna be somewhere around maybe 15 to 25 bucks per person in your casual spots. Now that could be upwards if you're adding drinks and things to that, but that's pretty normal what you're gonna find here. Now, obviously it'd be 40, 50, 60, upwards to 100 bucks in some cases for those nicer restaurants you might be going to. Now for beach access, it's free, right? So you saw at the beginning of this video out there that was in a beach access. Those are free to the public to go ahead and park. In some cases, there are some places that you may need to pay when there's events and things like that going on. But as of right now, Fort Walton Beach hasn't been charging for parking. You go over that bridge, you go into Destin, you can pay 20 bucks to get down to the beach, okay? As far as entertainment, your movies, there is a movie theater out here for you to go. Used to be 2, there's now 1. And those movies are, well, depends on what you're getting into, but could be upwards of, could be as low as 13, but usually up to maybe 35 bucks a person, you know, with everything else going on. Your gym memberships, 35, 40, maybe upwards of $70, although it's on my sheet, but I can't recall exactly who that is. It's charging that much. The gym that I go to pretty much daily is about 35 bucks per month. To get certain licensing, like fishing license and things like that, for residents, it's about $17 per year. So if you want to go out and get that, you can. Now know that you don't necessarily have to get those if you're going out on a charter or something like that. That's not required, but if you're going to be doing it, that's something that you should be looking into. So really it's up to you for a night going out. I know my fellow people that like to go out, especially my veterans, are like, how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to spend a night on drinks? Well, this is where I'd be spending that night for drinks. Depending on what sort of night you want to have, you could usually do it under 100 bucks, maybe not with the Uber, maybe looking for maybe closer to 150. And it depends upon your taste. If you're a beer guy, it's going to be a little bit less. You're seeing, you know, $6, $7 a beer. It's not bad for here. It's not like Wisconsin where it's like 50 cents per beer. It's cheaper to fly up there, even with the plane ticket. It was cheaper to drink in Wisconsin. But anyway, you know, you are going to get tourist prices here. They do adjust a bit throughout the year, but overall, pretty good to go. So if you want to know some of the best spots, go ahead and check out some of these other videos that we got where we have the hot spots for Fort Walton Beach. If you want to see what it's like to get some of the concerts out here, want to know more about the different types of golf cart access, check out these other videos, or just give me a call or text. We'll set up a one-on-one to see if this is the right move for you. All right, let's talk about transportation cost. So when it comes to driving around here, the current prices are about $2.89 upwards of $3.20 per gallon, depending upon where you go. You can go to Sam's Club. I think I just saw it the other day, just at $2.69. Your car insurance per year, depending upon what you're driving and how well you drive, could be upwards of $1,800 per year. Now that's approximate, could be a little bit more, a little bit less. There's not a lot of public transportation. Now there is sporadically through Fort Walton Beach, but there's really no supported public transportation. If you need a ride, like you're gonna need a vehicle to get around for daily life in Fort Walton Beach. Now you could use different ones like Lyft and Uber to be able to get around, but I'm sure that can get pretty expensive, especially when it comes to tourist season. I know I use it quite a bit when we go out, just being safe, but it can start to rack up for you. Now you're gonna see a lot of people commuting, usually to Hurlburt, Eglin, or Destin during the summer times, or just nearby cities. So just expect some gas, quite a bit of a gas budget, depending upon what you're driving. If you're in one of those electrical cars, all right, well, you got me. You don't really have to worry about that too much, but you will be sitting in traffic. Now, one of the things I'm coming up on here now, since I'm on Santa Rosa Boulevard, is the new bridge project, right? So it's towards the end of 2025 right now, and we're hoping to see this thing finished in the next 2-3 years. It said it was going to be a 5-year project. That's the government telling us that. So how long do you think it's really going to last? All right, so we do have slowdowns on here. We probably got a couple more years of that. And on Santa Rosa Boulevard, we're currently on 4 lanes and they're talking about taking this down to 2. So not that there's a ton of traffic, but when we get to those peak seasons, it definitely will be a factor moving forward. So when we look at transportation costs, we're at the 89 on the percentiles there, which of course means that we are 11% below the national average as far as transportation cost is concerned. Yeah, despite the fact that we don't have public transportation, that's going to be something to look at. So if you're looking for other locations that you want to move to and you want to move away from traffic and get easy access to things, that's the reason that you want to give us a call so that we can put those together for you. There are some specific places that you can go to. I know because I have to travel all the time for this job. But yeah, I'd love to give you some of those local insights, depending upon where you're going to go to, where the best place to go is. All right, guys, in the true sense of cost of living, I want to show you what you can get for the price that we are talking about here in the Fort Walton Beach area. So what we're going to do is take a look at one of these newly rehabbed homes. It was actually built in '75, and look what somebody can do with a 1975 home. We're going to go through and take a look at this. Super excited. Let's go take a peek. All right, so as we first get into this home, you can see that everything has been redone in this. No more 1975, except for maybe the arches out front. So as we go in here, you'll see that they have upgraded the kitchen, which of course we're gonna go check out. There's 4 bedrooms with the modification that they've done with this room over here. Which we'll go check out. But let's first take a look at the bathrooms. Now, I think guys, you're gonna love this with the upgrades that they've done in here. Some really cool features I think that you could see yourself in. All right, first thing that you notice here is that we have upgraded tile throughout. These are all brand new vanities. That's right. Really nice, not the soft close, but still look pretty good. This is a granite or cultured, no, this is granite. Excuse me, no, that's quartz. All right, called myself out in my own video. That's quartz countertop that we have here, dual vanity, and I love this. You guys can see in here, we can actually turn off the extra lights if we wanted to, or turn them back on, and you can change, see that? You can change the color to whatever mood you're in. I like the blue, so we're gonna stick with the blue. Pretty awesome. Okay, so you have your commode and then your custom tub shower combo. So it looks like gold's back in style, interestingly enough. It was silver. It was plated silver, or it was like that dark matted black that we saw most of the time, but it looks like gold's coming back around. You guys tell me here in the comments if you like this gold touch that they have throughout the house. I don't know, I'm starting to like it. Okay, so it does have the custom tile, that actual knockout here in the middle there, and a nice tub. So that's bathroom number 1. This isn't even the master. Let's see what that turns out to be like. All right, so we move on here to bedroom number 1. This is your original bedroom here. Okay, this is actually the master bed. They put new closet doors on here. One thing to notice too that not a lot of people are gonna notice here is that I know this is an older home, but we have upgraded windows in here. So every time you go through a property, make sure you're looking for this, because it can cost you like 20 grand to replace all the, if not more, depending on how much natural light that you have and how big these are, to replace these. So definitely look for that. Okay. All right, and this is the master, so we have your other bath in here. So it looks very much the same. I love that they've done in here. This is a soft close, actually. I don't know if you saw that, but this has got a blue accent to it. It's like it's dark, almost navy blue. It's got that same quartz countertop in here. Again, the gold, and then we have the different lights within the mirror. Pretty cool. I actually stayed in an Airbnb that just had this, and my wife loved it. So now I know a new project that we're doing. Okay, in the master too, they have two shower heads in here as well, which is super nice. And that same sort of knockout. This one actually has a shelf in it. So I'm just gonna zoom in on this here. It actually has a shelf on it. Still got that gold around it, which matches in here. It really did a good job with this. And in this one, instead, it's just a stand-up shower, but it does have the tile here at the bottom. But again, this is really nice. Good touches on everything in here. Okay, and when you think about this space in this specific one, you could probably fit a king-size bed in here and maybe 1 or 2 dressers, but it'd be a little tight. But again, these are the sizes of those rooms that we had in the mid-70s models. So again, this is the same flooring throughout. There's no carpet in the bedrooms. Here's your bedroom number 2, a little bit smaller in here. Same size, well, a little bit smaller closets, except it's a bit deeper. But there's bedroom. All right, bedroom number 3. This is the one that's facing the front. Nice natural light coming in here. This is about the same size of the closet that we saw in the last bedroom. This one's a little bit longer. So in here with a queen, or heck, even a king, you could probably put maybe just, this is slightly smaller, just gauging for the eye for the master bedroom. You can see as well that they updated all these doors. There's been a lot of good workmanship in here. And then this, of course, is super open as well. We've got some nice natural light coming in. Of course, that's the door that we came in. And of course, guys, I'm gonna have the price for this once we're done. And that way you can see what a new construction is going to cost you. And there's the kitchen again. We're gonna come right back to it, but let's see what they did here. So I believe that this part of the house was probably a carport originally when it was built, or a garage, and they've converted this over to a bedroom. So this is the biggest bedroom in the entire house, right? And this is where you could easily put a California king in here. You've got a nice closet space in here. There's just extra ton of room. It is technically a bedroom because it does have a closet and a window. If you're ever curious about that, it just has to be 7 feet with a window and a closet, and it is considered a bedroom. Okay, this does have big old French doors, if you guys didn't notice when I walked in here, but pretty cool. All right, I know you've been waiting to check out this kitchen. Let's go. So we have this big island. They have, again, kind of that, this one's actually a little bit different color, the scheme that they use. This is more of a kind of purplish blue with the gold, and it actually stands out really well. I don't dislike it. Of course, anything with this quartz countertop, this is a huge slab that they put here. Again, the gold lights on the top. You can kind of picture yourself sitting here with the family, maybe watching TV from inside the kitchen, wherever that you would put that. Actually, there's a bunch of different options in here, and just enjoying your evenings, relaxing in here. It's nice and cool in here too. I can feel it being really nice and enjoying that. The other nice part about this is, despite that this used to be a galley kitchen, they've opened this all up, and there's a good amount of counter space. You could work 2 or 3 people in here easily while you were cooking and prepping food, and there wouldn't really be much of an issue. Most everything in here is your stainless steel. This is a gas range, so if you like gas, this is your space, right? Really nice back splash on these. These are all newer cabinets. So again, I'm always checking. We've got the soft close here. This is more than likely Soft close, hey. Yeah, and this is my favorite. I love these sinks, where it's a big farmhouse sink versus the two little sinks. And mainly just because I want to be able to put a full pot in here with the handle and not have to scrub and like actually lay it down and put a little elbow grease into it. Get it? Pun. All right, but these these are really something I really like. I've changed them out my houses that I've lived in, and totally worth it. Okay. All right, so the one thing that we're looking around here for, oh yeah, and don't forget the fridge is right over here, built into this wall. This is a really big Frigidaire, and there's a Coke in there. All right guys, come in, purchase a house, I'll throw in a Coke, all right, promise. Maybe not that one because it looks like it's busted. All right, but the one thing I noticed in here is that there isn't a pantry. So when you go to these rehabs, that's one thing I've looked, because I purchased one of these rehabbed homes in Dayton, Ohio, and it didn't have a pantry. I didn't notice, and next thing you know, I'm putting stuff in cabinets where I normally put pants. So where would one of these things go? And I originally thought that when I was going through, until I saw this door was closed. I was like, oh, this has got to be the laundry room. Open up this farmhouse door, and we got a pantry right here. All right, so lots of space in here. Now this is the laundry room slash pantry, but this is bigger than my pantry, and I've got one that was built into the house, which is pretty awesome. Now these are all the same cabinets as well as the ones up here. These are all the same type, so it looks really good. Washer and dryer looks like it's coming with. And here's another accent with block for the top here. Really like this. This could be for laundry, which is more intended, what I think it's intended for. But really, if you needed extra space for preparation outside this kitchen, that's something else that you could be doing, mainly because the pantry is right here. So, pretty nice. Well, you're gonna go ahead and check outside. This is a new sliding glass door, which is great, so I don't have to put my weight into it. And a really nice outdoor area. It's got a new fence on it. And for this specific one, it's right next to the ball fields as well here in Fort Walton Beach. So it's nice to be able to go out to a park, not have to worry how much extra yard that you have when you could just go across the street and use the public. One thing that I always look around here, and I may feel pretty bad saying this, but what do my neighbors look like? Because Fort Walton Beach is so eclectic that you never know, because you could be going into a really nice home at $429 or whatever. Oh, I already gave away the price. Oh, man. Okay, yes. So the price of this home is for $429, $429,000. You get it early because I messed up. But for 1,700 square feet, is that going to be worth it? What are the other homes that are surrounding it that make it worth it to me? When I look in this neighborhood, because we're really close to the high school and junior high and everything else here, this is a really nice neighborhood for walkability, especially if you got those kiddos. First of all, sorry, I had to jump outside real quick. There's a separate access into the home on that big room side right here with a Ring doorbell, just in case you needed somebody else or there's multi-generational living in here. But I also wanted to show you the exterior a little bit more, and also why we kind of recapped some of the cost of living, because that was the name of this video, right? So our goods and services overall for Fort Walton Beach was $105, which is 5% higher than our national average. Groceries, again, is $95. So that is 5% below our national average. Healthcare for the area is actually at 94, so 6% lower than our national average prices. Housing's a little bit tricky over here since we are in a tourist town and we have a base around the area. There's high demand for housing, and that is at 108, so 8% above the national average. Now this is, again, the average. You can find some other homes that are going to be significantly higher for that. Transportation, as we mentioned earlier, is 89 percentile here, which is 11% below the national average. And utilities, I believe we've already mentioned that, was at 83, so 17% below the national average for utilities. Now, do you have to use this necessarily for, do you have to use your home other than cooling? Do you need heating here in Northwest Florida? Well, yeah, you're gonna get Florida skin. You're gonna think that 50 degrees is cold, or even 60 degrees. You're gonna be wearing jackets when it gets down to 45. I mean, I'm from New York and I still think that's cold. So you're gonna get that in there. And of course, in the house, you'll be running the heat as well as the AC in the summer, but you get to live all this. So I'd ask you before we jump back to the beach, is it worth it? Is the cost of living going to be worth it for you? Let's go. All right, guys, so we've helped dozens of buyers relocate here to the Fort Walton Beach, Destin, and areas all along here on the Emerald Coast. And clients that work with us live in homes that they absolutely love waking up in, that fits their lifestyle and their long-term goals. Now, if you move here without the understanding of the facts, without local insight, you may run into unexpected outcomes and feel frustrated about this move, which we do not want. So let's make your move simple, easy, stress-free. Give us a call, give us a text, whatever works for you, and let's talk. We can get even more local insights, one-on-one session with you and I to talk about what it is it takes to get an investment out here, or if you're looking to move here and make this your home. So again, guys, if you want more videos like that, we got them coming up here. As I told you before, there are tons of other ones out here that I've spent years putting together just for you. They'll be appearing here, they're good. Keep them going, binge watch them for me, and please leave a comment below, smash that like this channel, whatever you can do to show a little bit of love here, and let me know that you like these. But don't miss out on this one or this one.